Well, I was raised in Queens, New York. I joined right after 9/11. Um, the attacks of 9/11 was so impactful on me. And I had two daughters at the time, and my family was scared, and I felt like it was the right thing to do. So I joined the United States Army. 2007, I was in charge of a truck. The truck was called Mad Dog 5. Um, we were QRF. We were responsible for quick, rapid force. Some Marines got hurt in Fallujah. We went there to clear the area. A helicopter came and picked up the wounded. I was in a Humvee. There was 5 trucks. I was the last truck, and we all took off. And once the helicopter took off, we got back on the road. And Fallujah is such a hot place that, you know, getting hit by an IED is expected, right? So we had top equipment to protect us. We had warlock systems. We had pressure plate systems, and we ended up just rolling over some Christmas lights. And that's how they activated the bomb. And that was it. It was a flash of light. It was a blink of an eye for me, and split the truck in half. So as soon as I woke up, the first person I saw was my mother. And then from there, a bunch of doctors rushed in, and I was in induced coma for a while, and as I was recovering. And then from there, it started with just pain management, and then finally being able to, my mouth was wired shut, right? There was like a little lag between what I wanted to say and how I was saying it. So there was a lag in the system, and through therapy and a lot of stuff. I did 2 years there, and that's pretty much it. I never let the leg sort of dictate anything about me. You know, I always went at it. My mistake was not healing eternally at Walter Reed or preparing myself eternally. It was all physical like that. And then that's when I got into trouble after I left the hospital. So I'm at Walter Reed, and I start interning with Homeland Security. I end up meeting the director of Homeland Security. He came visit the veterans. You know, he shook my hand and he said, "Can I do anything for you?" And I said, "I need a job." And he's like, "Where do you want to go?" And I was like, "Well, my mom lives in Orlando, Florida. You know, I want to stay close to her." So we ended up moving to Orlando, Florida. I ended up getting a job with Homeland Security. And that's when, you know, the transition issues started to happen. The depression, the isolation. I ended up quitting that job and just staying home. And then the substance abuse came in, and that led into a failed suicide attempt. And that took about 5 or 6 years to sort of manifest the way it did. My first suicide attempt, I took a bunch of pills, and I ended up being Baker Act. They changed my medication, and they set me on my way about a month later, and I thought I had it. I thought I figured it out, right? And I did it. Suicide crept in again, substance abuse crept in again, and I remember pulling out a gun, and I pointed it to my head, and all I could think about was my mother, all the things she's been through, how much sacrifice coming from a different country, coming here, giving me the opportunity. And I called the Veteran Press Line. I called for help, and I got the help. I ended up being bankrupt again. But this time was different. This time, there was a lady named Mama Tavera. And Mama Tavera would visit and pray with the soldiers. And I gave my life to God.
Squeegee good. Don't let your belly button move. You can let your teeth find food, right? So. And
when I gave my life to God, you know, it was like a little spark of hope was put inside of me. And the more my relationship with God grew, the more He would put people in my life. And one of those people was Kim Severs. She started a program to get adopted veterans into sports. And she had this crazy idea of getting veterans to try skeleton and bobsled, a very amateur thing. And we went out there and we did that camp for 3 or 4 years. Team USA was like, hey, Will, you're sliding pretty well. You're a little overweight. Right? I was only like 320, so I was a big boy. Right? But you slide well. Can you get in shape? Can you get it within the requirements? We'll let you try out for the team. So I did that. And then in 2019, I made the team. He gave me when they gave me that uniform, to wear that uniform again, it wasn't a military uniform, but to represent that flag again, it was such a feeling for me. And 2020, I won my first nationals. I won 3 of them. I won 4 gold medals now. And in 2023, I was the first American to be ranked number 1 in the world in para bobsled. And I won that gold club right there. So it's been a journey, man. But I'm a product of great people that God has placed in my life. And we talked about the scouting. I did scouting for a year, and it was terrifying. Terrifying. It was so scary. And then Coach Kim was like, "Will, try a bobsled. You're getting hurt too much." And I tried a bobsled, and even that got scary. But I kept showing up, and eventually I ended up going to the top of the track, and now I compete throughout the world representing USA. So the way I explain bobsled, it's picture a roller coaster you could drive. You could hit speeds of 130, 140 kilometers an hour. So you get in, and there's actually a launching mechanism, so everybody gets launched the same speed. So you're not pushing. I take my leg off, I get in, I strap in, and I drive it down. And it's over in less than a minute. But it's this sense of freedom. There's no disability on that ice. It's just you and basic controls. And it's an amazing feeling. It gets scary, but once you do it, you're like, oh, I still got it. I still got that fire in me. My warrior spirit's alive. Fighting adaptive sports, it's something that was sort of presented to me, but it wasn't given to me. I still have to show up. I got to put in the hard work. And that builds my spirit. And it sort of gives me purpose. So my season is from October till March. Right now I'm in halfway. And then the off season is from March till October. But training is all the time for me. I look at it this way. I have to be mentally, physically, and spiritually fit to be at my best. So whether I'm sliding or not, I go to the gym to stay physically fit. I stay close to God to be spiritually well. And then therapy. I still do therapy to be mentally healthy. And when one of those 3 things is out of whack, my whole system, I won't slide well. I won't be the best father I could be, the best Christian I could be. Things are just not working well. So I constantly have to be doing that. I've won gold. I just won gold in Norway. I won gold in Austria. I won gold in New York. I've competed in Germany. I've competed in Switzerland. I've competed in Latvia. I'm about to go to France for the first time and race there. It's been amazing. It's been amazing to travel the world, representing the United States. It's an honor for me. I love it.